A few months ago, I created a CRM in Notion and gave it away to everyone completely for free. It works fine, but honestly, I leave out so many features because I was afraid of giving away too much. But recently, as I was in multiple client calls, I noticed that I was afraid or embarrassed to talk about my template when they need a CRM. Because of that, I decided to revamp the entire thing and add almost every single feature that I currently use in my business as well. So to get this template for free, click on the link in the description below and click on Get Template. You might need to log in, but if not, you can just click on Add. And this is the entire system. There is also a secret free gift on top, so you can download it to see what it is. Now let me show you how the entire system works. So to create a new client or lead, you can either click on the new page button here or the new blue button here. Depending on the stage the client is at, it will go to different view. So done is for anything that is completed, potential is for anything in the to-do, so lead and prospect, and in progress is the active view. The first thing that you might notice is the navigation is on the right side. I know a lot of template creators love it on the left side, but personally I noticed that I open the page up quite often on the pipeline area, so that's why I have it on the right side instead. Because if I were to have another client, for example, let's say this would be client 2, you'll notice that when I open the side page, it will then block off the entire right side of the page. So it means that if, let's say, this pipeline would be on the right side, which I can demonstrate right now. If let's say it will be something like this and I were to open it up like this, you see how it blocks the view, so I have to close it and open it again. It's just a little bit of a time saver if everything is on the left side instead. So if I were to open it like this, I can just open the next client like this. So once you have created the client, you can select it's either a company or an individual. If let's say you only deal with one of these, you can just delete this altogether. Now just open the page up and enter in their info. For the country, it is a select property and I included every single country inside. Then all you have to do is just search it up and just click on the country. Then enter their email, phone, website, lead source, things like that. And let's say if you deal with two different client type at once, what you could do is actually enter their information directly inside here for the individual. So which means that you don't have to create a separate contact, you just have to enter their information here. So you'll notice that there are multiple tabs above here. This is just to navigate through information related to this specific client. So for example, this is the client that you're dealing with. What you're going to do is go to the context and enter in the information. This is useful so that in case you have multiple different stakeholders within a company, you can then enter their information in here. And once you're done with the context already, then you can go to the interactions and you can then click on new page when you have a new interaction with them, and you'll see that there are multiple templates that you can choose from in the interactions. So if it is a video conference, it will look something like this. Notion AI meeting notes will be here to record your meeting, and you can embed or upload the video from your Fathom, Fireflies, or things like that. Then email would just be simply subject and body, and you get the point. You can also then change the date, the time, contact method, platforms, and if you are interacting with a company and there is context here, you can then select the contact within this selection option here. One thing to note, if you only have one contact, you can actually just click on the interact button here. It will then automatically select the contact and the company that you are interacting with. So you'll notice that for the interactions here, you'll see the last contacted formula and also the interaction count formula. Interaction count is quite simple. This is just calculating how many times you interacted with the customer, quite useful. And for the last contacted, this is just to show you how many days are left for you to contact them again. Maybe you have scheduled a booking in advance, or how long have you contacted them in the past. So for example, in this case, it writes 189 days left. That is because we have one scheduled on the 17th of July. So if I were to remove this, you'll see that it is now 0 hours ago. But if I were to change it something like this on the 8th, and let me just delete this one as well, you see how now it's 24 hours ago. If I turn off the time, it will just say 1 day and 2 days, 3 days. It will even show hours. So let's say this one like this. Yep, there you go, 3 hours ago. So this is the two quite useful feature for me actually, because I will know when is the last time I contacted them. If I want to contact them every week, then I can see, okay, 7 days ago, then I contact them again. So after you have a great call with your client, you probably would want to send them a proposal or some kind of contract. And in that case, you can go to documents and create another page which has a proposal template. This is a very simple one and you can change it however you want. So it will look something like this. So your offer, client, date, plan and pricing, things like that. You can just copy the date here and then just paste it here like that. And once you're done with it, what I would recommend is actually just drag all of it here, select everything, Ctrl X and create a page, and let's name it proposal. Paste it in here and you can export this as PDF. If you don't put it within a page, then they can see all this status thing, which if you don't mind, then you can just export it as is. But I prefer it to be a little cleaner, so that's why I suggest to do something like this. And if you want to change the proposal template, you can just go to this drop down menu here, click on these 3 horizontal dots and click on edit, so you can directly edit the template to however you want. Also, if you want to add more template like contracts and things like that, what you could do is actually open the documents database directly. You'll notice that there is no new icon here. So instead, what you need to do is go to the original database, which is everything under here. So you just scroll down and all of your databases would be under here. So anything above here, you can just modify it however you want. Let's say, for example, you want to edit the active to not show the last contacted, and maybe you don't want to show the interaction count, how many times you have interacted with them. You can also hide it. So if you ever want to change the views, then suddenly you realize you don't like it, you can just click on the add a new view, click on table, click on the CRM DB, and then just select the active view again, and you'll see that the interaction count and last contacted is back. So this is very useful because if you ever change anything here and you don't like what you have done, you can just click on the new view and you can get back the view template. So going back to the documents, this is where you also would add the templates. Click on the drop down menu and click on new template. Then you can just put in whatever you want in here, contract, things like that, and you'll see it shows up in here. All right, so once the proposal has been approved and they are ready to pay, you can just go to the billing and now you can just create the template. There is a simple invoice template that I created for you already, which is under here, right? If you add a new page here, you'll see that it will automatically fill up for you. You can just change the information, everything in here, create a new line, things like that. Again, same thing. You might want to just select everything and put it in a separate page to export it out to send it to your customer as a PDF. So you'll also notice one more feature, which is the client portal. This is where you can create a client portal for your client, and how it's going to look like is something like this. So you can put in the custom cover, the custom icon to tailor to their branding, right? And it will look something like this. So progress update is where you update your client on what you're working on, maybe daily or weekly, that's up to you. What is the header here, and a before and after picture, again up to you. So they also have a gate support to know how they can contact you in case of anything urgent, and you can make it a sync block. So if you change it on one place, then it'll change it on everything else. So maybe what you would do is put the sync block inside and then move this page to somewhere else so that it'll be stored safely, and then just duplicate the sync block. And then of course the documents and billing invoices would also be inside here. So one thing you notice is that the documents and the billing invoices is actually related to the actual documents database that we have. So you might be wondering, how can we share it with them without actually showing all of the documents, right? So the way we're going to do that is actually using the person property here. You'll see this client share. And so whatever that's inside here and also inside the client portal would then be shared to them. So hopefully when you duplicate it, it will already be set for you, where you'll see something like this icon here. So anyone selected in client share can comment on this page. So the way I did this, just in case if you don't have this icon here, go back down to the database here and open up the documents database, billing and invoices, and also the client portal. You're going to open it up and click on share here, go to the share tab, and you'll see this page level access feature. You're just going to click on add a new rule, select the client share person property, and give them can comment permissions or can view, can edit, that's up to you. So if there is this icon here, then you know that the sharing permissions is working correctly. But if there is no icon here, then be careful because they can see all of your documents in the database if you put it inside their portal. So you might be wondering, well, why can't I just make this as the filter? If you don't know, anybody that has access to the client portal, even with just a can view permission, they can actually just go to the documents here and filter out something like this. So they can just delete the filter and they can then see all the documents, which is going to be obviously sensitive data. So this is actually quite essential. So yeah, make sure that this is actually there. Oh, also I forgot to mention this, but if you were to put the stage to in progress, it will then automatically create a client portal for you. So you'll see here, there you go, the client portal has been created and it will follow the name that you set here. So those are all the main features. You'll also notice on the right side here, under the navigation, there is also the interactions. So there is two views. One is for next and also log. Log is just anything that is before today, and next is anything that is after the time now. So this is actually based on a certain formula, which is not just based on day, it's actually based on time as well. So you could see this over here. So it's actually very simple formula, but it's very useful where it will show you not just based on days, because if you see under the filter, date can only be selected like next week or is on or before today. And I can't select like is on or before now, for example, right? So there's no time involved. That's why I'm using a formula for that instead. Another really useful thing that you can also do is to actually connect this next view with your Notion calendar app. So the way you're going to do that is after you download the Notion calendar and stuff already, you're just going to click on this next here and click on these three horizontal dots and click on manage in calendar, and you'll see the interactions database here. You can click on it and you'll see that it is synced to this view. So anything that shows up here will also show up in your calendar, so you can schedule it a little better. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't add all the features that I used in my business CRM because it's either still in the works or it's just impossible to include in this template. For example, I integrated my projects and task management system, which relates to the clients. I'm not sure when I will also add that into this CRM, but I know it will be added one day. Another thing is that you'll notice in the billing and invoice section, you probably see this create invoice button. Basically what will happen if you click it, it will take in all of the information here, then it will create and attach the invoice directly in here as a PDF for this amazing looking invoice. All of this is completely automated, so if you want to know how to set it up for yourself, click on this video where I show you how to do it step by step.